Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Flash episode 14 video, Escape from Zoom Mountain. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. I'm going to need to explain who Edward Claris is from the comics and where Velocity 9 originally came from. And there's a new round of the Reverse Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. So really big stuff first. There were some teasers at the end of the episode, but the reason I have Jaws up here on my monitor is because they released a Jaws promo for the King Shark episode next week. It's going to be so much fun. We'll talk about that later. We have to talk about Zoom stuff right now. So I'll start with the really big stuff first. We found out the person knocking behind the glass. We didn't find out who they are. We know they're a white person because we can see their skin right here, but they were banging Jay Garrick on the glass. Now that could mean a lot of things. It could mean I'm really Jay Garrick, or it could mean Jay Garrick is Zoom, but because of the end of the episode, we know that our Jay Garrick, the one that we've been seeing this whole time, is not Zoom. Zoom is still someone else. So until we get more information that's going to make us shift our theories a little bit, it seems like what they're doing is they're combining things from the Reverse Flash from the Golden Age, Edward Claris, with things from modern day, like Hunter Zolomon and Cobalt Blue. What does that mean? Well, it means they take aspects of the Golden Age Reverse Flash and make him look like more modern Reverse Flashes, give him a backstory that's a little bit closer to one of the more modern Reverse Flashes. But I really love the idea that Zoom is going to have something to do with a deep cut from the Golden Age Jay Garrick era of comics. Jay Garrick, Earth 2, huge part of Season 2, it makes sense that you would do a lot of Golden Age villain type things. Velocity 9, what the hell is that? Velocity 9 is the formula that Edward Claris tries to recreate to give him the powers of Jay Garrick, the speed of Jay Garrick in the comics. Now, there have been a couple different ways that they've explained Jay Garrick getting his powers. It was not through the lightning like Barry did. Like you'd expect, the original version's a little silly. He was conducting a lab experiment and accidentally inhaled heavy water vapors, activating the metagene, giving him super speed. So Edward Claris takes the Velocity 9 formula, becomes an evil speedster, starts being called the Rival. Eventually, during their final battle, Jay Garrick is taking him down. Edward Claris goes so fast he reaches light speed and vanishes into the Speed Force for about 50 years. And they haven't done this on the show yet, but the Speed Force in the comics is an actual place that you can get trapped in, this nether region, like an alternate dimension almost, that exists out of space and time. So the Reverse Flash comes back. He has blue-looking lightning, a darker version of Jay Garrick's costume. There's a twist though. When he does come back, he's pure energy. He inhabits the body of Max Mercury, one of Jay Garrick's friends, another speedster, and pretends to be him while he tries to take down Jay Garrick again. So it sounds like Zoom is a version of Edward Claris, the TV show's version of that, just combining it with some modern day things. Now, we still don't know his backstory. We don't know how much he's changed from the comics and what his face is going to look like when he takes it off. If he's going to look like Jay Garrick, that might be the case, but I like the idea that they're going to play with what the meaning of the Speed Force is on the TV show. That's one thing that they didn't really push into in Season 1. It was just about Barry learning to use it, but the Speed Force itself is a fairly complex phenomenon. There's still 9 episodes left in the season, so they're just going to continue to tease out Zoom backstory. But now that I've explained the big stuff, we do top 10 WTF. So number 10, Cisco Super Duper Recap. I love the way they do recaps sometimes at the beginning of episodes, as if Cisco's whole speech at the beginning, where he super speed explains to Harrison Wells what happened last week, is to remind casual viewers what happened. Like, oh, in case you missed part of last week's episode, all this WTF just happened. Number 9 WTF, Barry 1 meets Jesse Quick. And we're going to get a whole bunch more Jesse Quick. I'm so excited. As we learn, she's kind of down in the dumps. I don't know how long, in terms of time frame, how long she's been captain, but it looks like Zoom has started to break her spirit. Number 8 WTF, Zoom versus the Time Vault. I love that there's an Earth 2 version of the Time Vault that Harrison Wells created, as if to say he's every bit as smart as the Reverse Flash, who's from the future, a genius in the far future. It seems like this version of the room is more of a holodeck, just, really complex holograms, cannot actually see into the future. Cisco just calls it the Time Vault. Number 7 WTF, Zoom is a giant asshole. When he runs up to Jesse Quick and is like, I'm only keeping you alive to kill you in front of your father, and I'm only keeping him alive so that I can take your speed. That was just the most hardcore thing ever. They really want you to hate that character, and they're doing an amazing job of making him visually terrifying, along with just being scary in general. Number 6 WTF, Scott Evans, Iris West from Earth 1's new editor at the paper, is also a giant asshole, but for slightly different reasons. He just wants to push the narrative that the Flash isn't the hero that we think he is. Now, we just met him. We don't know if he hates the Flash for a specific reason, but I think we'll find out. They said that he and Iris are going to have some sort of chemistry together eventually. That's TV code for sexual chemistry, as in like everything up to actually hooking up. Like I don't think Iris is going to be hooking up with him anytime soon. But once she jumps over the hump of thinking he's an asshole, like, oh my god, this guy hates the Flash, he's a total bag of dicks, she'll realize that he has a specific reason for wanting that. He'll be much more complex. They'll build the character out. He'll be a lot more interesting. But I'm in favor of anything that gives Iris an interesting story to tell. Right now, all the really cool stuff she does is involved with Wally West's storyline and with Barry's storyline. So all the characters really need to have like stuff going on in their own lives independent of Team Flash. Number 5 WTF. Earth 2 Barry, we'll just call him Barry 2. Barry 2 meets Iris 2 and explains the multiverse. And he is like the uber Felicity. We learned, number 4 WTF, that Patty Spivot of Earth 2 is a CSI, like in this Earth she didn't put it off, compiled all the information they need on all the metahumans of Earth 2, and Barry 2 is the one that created the algorithm that allows them to search for people. So he really is like the Felicity of Earth 2. But he totally nuts up number 3 WTF as they find Killer Frost, and Cisco convinces her that she's not a total bitch and she wants to help them out because of what Zoom did to Ronnie. They give Barry the confidence boost he needs to phase out of his prison and escape with Killer Frost's help. And I know it seems like she might be dead, but if you don't see a body, if you don't see her head on an ice spike, she's still alive. Consider her still alive. Number 2 WTF, the man in the iron mask pounds Jay Garrick on the glass. So I kind of already explained how I think that there's some Edward Claris Golden Age stuff going on, maybe Cobalt Blue. It's going to be a mixture of Reverse Flash things, but I do think they're going deep cut with a lot of Jay Garrick Golden Age comic stuff. And I know there was the trailer that I posted where it looks like Zoom is ripping his mask off. That had footage from future episodes, so we're probably going to see that scene sometime in the next 2 or 3 episodes. And number 1 WTF, of course, Team Flash returns with Jesse Quick and Harrison Wells, but Zoom reaches through and seemingly, I know it seemed like he killed Jay Garrick because he sucked him through the remains of the portal, but I don't think that he's dead yet. If they wanted to kill our version of Jay Garrick, he would have fallen dead right there instead of being sucked back through the portal. So everybody let me know in the comments, what are all your Zoom theories now that we know that the guy was pounding Jay Garrick on the glass? Let me know in the comments. Do you think whoever he ends up being, he will look like Jay Garrick? It'll be like a Cobalt Blue Golden Age Reverse Flash explainer. Either way, I'm super happy with what they're doing with the villain. It's way more complex, way more interesting than we ever thought, which is just one more reminder that you should trust the Flash writers. They totally know what they're doing. They're totally going to do something awesome, whatever the explanation ends up being. And I know I don't talk about it very often, but the special effects are amazing. Like just that last sequence where Jay Garrick has to super speed run around the portal to keep it open, and Joe West has to like tap that little piece in, just like, oh, just nudge it just a little bit to fix it. Boom, we're good. That's just really cool looking, and it's good from a story perspective. Well, at least we know how long Velocity 9 lasts now. Speaking of which, that was actually one of my bigger surprises from the episode, that Caitlin was like, okay, we're working on Velocity 8, we'll see how it works. And then a couple minutes later, she's like, hey, you know what, I completely fixed it. We're on Velocity 9 now. Like, boom, done. I didn't expect them to perfect Velocity 9 till at least like 3 or 4 more episodes. It does make me wonder why the producers were saying that Velocity 9 is going to be a big part of Wally West and Jesse Quick's storyline. Just remember the cool thing here, Jesse Quick, the smartest person on the show, as confirmed by Barry and her father. So Team Flash is now like Team Super Science. They have all the smartest people on the show all in one room. So what's going to happen is I have a couple other videos to post. I just posted a Game of Thrones Q&A. YouTube is kind of slow with uploading, so hopefully this video didn't take forever, but I'll be posting updates on Twitter and Facebook for the next couple of videos. New Arrow, new Flash, King Shark next week on The Flash. That is going to be badass. While you guys wait for my next video to post, you can click here for the Star Wars Episode 8 teaser they just posted. That was actually a pretty big surprise. And you can click here for all my other Flash and Arrow videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.